right, let me get to my PowerPoint. So our lesson plan today, we're talking about calories and macronutrients. So let me get this out of here. All right, calories and macronutrients. We're gonna be breaking this down by meal. We're gonna be talking about exactly how much of each of these things, calories, fats, carbs, proteins, do you need in each meal. And then I'm gonna be going over some samples of exactly what those meals would look like, and then showing you all what that's doing inside of your body that is the reason that we need that amount of each food and amount of each nutrient. All right, so how many calories do you need each day? Number one, all right, there is a way to calculate your calories. So we went over this in our last lesson plan. Your calorie goal for each day should be, number one, consistent. Definitely needs to be consistent. If you go too far away from this and every day you're getting, one day 2,000 calories, the next day 1,200, the next day 1,500, your body doesn't have any stability. So it's not going to be able to make any changes. So number one, we got to establish consistency in this and calculate these calories correctly. So you take your goal weight, all right? If you're 200 pounds right now, but you want to weigh 160, you're going to take 160, that goal weight, and multiply it by a number that's between 8 and 20. All right, so those numbers, here's where they come from. If you want to lose weight quickly, all right, this should only be done in a short amount of time, for like 2 to 6 weeks at a time. If you do this for more than 6 weeks, you're definitely risking damaging your metabolism. So this is short term here, but multiply that goal weight times 8. You're definitely gonna lose weight quickly. All right, steady weight loss, this can be done for literally forever until we need to recharge your metabolism, would be multiplying that goal weight times 10. Make sure everybody's getting in here. All right, welcome you guys. Stay on mute unless you have a question for me, please. If you want to maintain your weight, but also this would work towards starting to build muscle or just keeping a healthy metabolism, you've already hit your weight loss goals, multiply that goal weight times 12. If you're wanting to start gaining weight, you're gonna start at goal weight times 15 and upwards of 20, and that's gonna help you really pack on muscle fast. All right, that's what I do, my goal weight times 20. And sometimes though, you might just gain a little bit of fat along with that. If you're all right with that, it's short term. You can always cut it back down later after you built that muscle, all right? Does anybody have any questions about calculating calories or want to go over and use themselves as an example to figure out how many calories they should be eating each day? All right, moving forward. Macros. All right, so first we're gonna break down those calories. All right, we're gonna use 1,500. 1,500 is a general number I use. Most women are eating around 1,500 or 1,600 calories per day as a maintenance amount of calories. So we're gonna use that. If your calories are at 1,800, you just adjust accordingly for whatever your calorie intake is. But you need to take your total calories, multiply it by 0.45 or up to 0.6 to get your total amount of calories from carbohydrates. All right, let me open up a Word document here. We'll do this on the side here. So if I wanted to weigh 160 pounds and I wanted to lose weight steadily, I multiply it by 10. That would be 1,600 calories. So I guess we're gonna use 1,600 calories as our, our example here. All right, if I am very active, going back to this, if I'm very active, I'm gonna want this 60%, all right? If I'm not that active, I'm gonna want the 45%, all right? Your activity level is something to take into consideration here, and it's why we actually have like a range. Right? They give us this little freedom to make these judgments for ourselves here. So I'm very active. So I'm gonna use myself here. I want 60% of my calories coming from those carbohydrates. So 1,600 times 0.6 is 960. So 960 of my calories from carbs. Now, 1 gram of carbohydrate equals 4 calories. So we're gonna take that 960 and we're gonna divide that by 4. And that equals 240. That's how many grams of carbs I would eat per day. All right. So I just calculated my carbohydrates. Now, fat intake. This has a little bit to do with the carbohydrate intake. If you are in the high end of carbohydrate intake, you cannot have a high amount of carbs and a high amount of fat. All right, that is a recipe for weight gain, so don't do that. But you got to first adjust. I chose 60%, so I cannot go with the highest amount. But now do I go with 20, 25, 30%? This has to do with your actual energy levels. Do you need a ton of energy? Again, coming back to, are you sedentary or are you highly active? I'm pretty active. I'm gonna go with 25% for myself. And you can gauge that based off of your own daily lifestyle, of course, to get these numbers here. Feel free to do this as we're talking and ask me questions as we're going too. So again, I'm taking that 1,600 calories and I'm gonna multiply it by 0.25 for 25% of my calories coming from fats. That is 400 calories from fats. There are 9 calories per gram of fat. So we're gonna take that 400, divide it by 9, and that's gonna give me 44.5 grams of fat per day. Okay. Any questions so far? Again, this is explained in depth in the previous macronutrients lesson plan. We can go back and review that on YouTube if you need it. Now the remainder is going to be protein intake. So here's what we got. We got 960 plus 400. So I got my calculator out here. That's 1,360 out of 1,600. So I only have 240 calories left. All right. There are 4 calories in 1 gram of protein. So I'm gonna do that 240 divided by 4. That gives me 60 grams of protein per day. All right, so my macronutrients are 44.5, 240, 60. And I'll tell you right now, those are not my macronutrients. All right, this is a random made up assortment here. This is not very typical. Typically, these carbohydrates and proteins would be much closer to each other in numbers. This is a good amount of fat for a day though. All right, anywhere from 30 to maybe 60 grams of fat. Most of us will find ourselves between 100 and 200 carbs and somewhere between like 100 and 160 grams of protein. All right, and that does, these numbers add up and match. They create those 1,600 calories per day. Right? Oh, we're in the wrong one. All right, so going back here. I want to review real quick what I was talking about. Right here, you gotta consider your lifestyle, consider your muscle mass, your balance of macros. That's what I was saying. My proteins, carbs, and fats weren't really in balance. If you have any questions about these things, that's where I do come into play here. I will definitely help you out with these. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, moving forward. Organizing nutrients by meal. Where's my stuff here? All right, a few things we need to cover before we go into this. These are just need to know information so that the rest of this makes sense. You need 10 grams of fat in a meal so that your cells absorb the fat first. The outer membrane of your cell will be lubricated so that other nutrients can actually come in. All right? If that outer membrane is not lubricated, it gets very brittle and nothing can pass through the membrane of that cell. So that's very important, 10 grams of fat per meal. Your body, most people's bodies will digest 10 to 20 grams of glucose, aka carbohydrates, per hour. All right, so I should tell you meals should probably be somewhere around 30 carbs per meal. All right, we're going to manipulate this based on your activity and based on your goals, but that's a good go-to for standard information here. Carbohydrates they must have branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. Those are found in protein sources, but you can also get those as a supplement. It's made separately. I have the BCAAs in my own brand as well. You want some of those. And those BCAAs are going to turn the carbohydrate into glycogen, all right? Carbs don't give you blood sugar. Carbs get broken down into glycogen that gives you blood sugar. All right, so I are definitely going to need BCAAs, aka that's why you need protein in your diet every meal. Last thing that you need to know, your liver. This is where carbohydrates are going to go to be processed after you eat them. They'll go to your stomach sends them to your liver. All right, your liver can store 80 to 100 grams of glycogen, aka carbohydrates, and then it's going to be full. Once it's full and you continue to eat carbohydrates, your body is going to start to oxidize those carbs, and any fat that's left in its body, it's food fat, it's going to immediately start turning that into body fat. So it's very important not to fill up the liver or especially overflow the liver. All right, quick example, bag of popcorn. All right, just Orville Redenbacher, normal bag of popcorn, has about 100 carbs in it. All right, even if you've been eating clean for days in a row, you eat one bag of popcorn to yourself, your liver is full, all right? It's all the way up, which means if you don't exercise and get that out of your liver, then the next time you eat a meal and it has carbohydrates in it, there's a chance you're gonna overflow on that, and it's gonna cause you to gain body fat. This is why it's important not to eat too many carbs at one time, and also to make sure that when we do eat too much, we get our high intensity exercise in almost immediately afterwards. All right, any questions about this before we move on? Maybe. All right. Here we go. I'm going to show you all, this is an ideal setup for foods that you would eat on a 1,500 calorie diet. And I'm going to be going back and forth showing you all literally the time of day that it would be, what the food is. I'm gonna have the calorie breakdown. You can see right there, 190 calories in a Pure Pro bar. And that is 6 grams of fat, 17 carbs, 20 grams of protein. All right, so as I go through this, we're gonna talk about somebody who would work out from like 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. in this scenario, but that can be any time. All right, you just adjust according to what you're doing for this. If you have questions about that, ask me later. We'll go over that for sure. All right, hold on. I saw somebody popped up in the chat. Let me get it open. Yes, ma'am. Shanice, what's your question? Type it out there.
All right. So if you
go ahead.
Work out before you eat unhealthy.
But I can't hear you. You got to turn the volume up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, speak up though.
All right. If you work out before you eat unhealthy, is that the same thing, or do you have to work out again after you eat unhealthy?
Great question. Working out beforehand is still really valuable. Doing a high intensity exercise before a cheat meal is what we're talking about, right? All right, so let's say you went into that cheat meal and you had 60 grams of glycogen in your liver. All right, so now you only got room for 40. So if you go and you have a cheat meal and you only got room for 40, then you're probably gonna overflow. You're probably gonna gain weight from that cheat meal. If you did high intensity exercise before it, instead of coming into that cheat meal with 60 grams of glycogen, yes, that would help because that would deplete anything that was in there. And then you go eat that cheat meal and it fills back up, then you do the HIIT afterwards to deplete it. Yeah, that would be a perfect combination. However, if you've been eating healthy day in and day out and you've been exercising regularly, even if it's just low intensity, your liver shouldn't have 60 grams of glycogen in it. It should have more like 10 to 20. And then that high intensity exercise would put you at risk of going into low blood sugar. You would know that because you would start shaking about 15, 20 minutes into the workout. So it's one of those things you just kind of got to feel out. Yeah, you can definitely take that kind of precautionary measure going in before the cheat meal, but make sure that you don't overdo it beforehand. Do a little bit of the high intensity before the cheat meal, and then after the cheat meal, you definitely got to come in and kill it. Great question, though. We're going to go back right into this. Waking up, all right? It's for my morning campers here. Wake up. If you ate a Pure Pro protein bar, we got one of those in here. No, it's all good. If you ate one of these little protein bars, it would be 190 calories, 6 grams of fat, 17 carbs, 20 grams of protein. Going back, it has almost 10 grams of fat. All right, it has almost 20 carbs, and it's got 20 grams of protein. All right, so it does meet our requirements there. Then if you eat at 5:30, or you start working out at 5:30 a.m., this is what happens to your blood sugar. Look down here. Your blood sugar goes from around 75 milligrams per deciliter, and because, where'd my mouse go? There it goes. Because you ate, then your blood sugar rises. It'll get up to where around 90 milligrams per deciliter, and that puts you in a good, healthy, energetic blood sugar zone for your workout. All right. Once you're working out, you stay in that fat burning zone for most of your workout, so you're not burning through a crazy amount of sugars. You work out for 1 hour. Because you did that, look back down here, the blood sugar within that hour will drop down a little bit. It won't drop down crazy amount because you stayed in your fat burning heart rate zone, the lower intensity. We've been talking about that, burning a lot of fat, not a lot of sugars. All right, once you get out of that workout, about 7:15, 45 minutes later, you got home, start cooking your breakfast, got yourself settled. 7:15, a good meal for after workout. 1 whole egg, 3 extra egg whites, 2 strips of turkey bacon, and 2 slices of bread. You could eat that just on your plate as like a traditional, or you could turn that into a bacon egg sandwich. 360 calories, 10 grams of fat, 40 carbohydrates, 29 grams of protein. So how do you know that, Greg? Because I Googled it. I literally Googled whole egg nutrition, and it said 5 grams of fat, 5 grams protein. So I wrote that down. And then I wrote the next thing down. I wrote the next thing down. If you want to nail this, you are going to have to kind of research these things, and you're going to have to track it. All right, it's a little math equation, and it's a little job for you. I'll be honest, I have them memorized by now. Eventually, you will have them memorized. You won't have to do this all the time. But if you have no idea where you're at and you don't know how I came up with these calories and these macros, start with Google or get on MyFitnessPal and track it. It'll track those numbers for you a lot easier. All right, so after the workout, 7:15, I ate this breakfast. Because I did eat that breakfast with high carbs and protein, lower fat after the workout, my blood sugar went back up. All right, I ate it right here at this valley, and then my body absorbed those nutrients, and I ended up with a high amount of blood sugar within about a half an hour. All right, my blood's pumping. That is going to get used quickly. This is why we eat a big meal. 360 calories is still kind of small. A lot of times we could be getting upwards into 400, 500 calories, maybe another slice of bread. Blood sugar is going to come down quickly because blood pressure is high from the workout. You just burned calories at a really high rate, so your body is going to take those calories back in at a very fast rate and use them. All right, 2 or 3 hours go by. We come back up here, we eat another snack. When that blood sugar drops back down, look right here, boom. It's low right here. We're at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. 1 banana and a scoop of protein. That's 220 calories. 3 grams of fat, 30 carbs, 25 grams of protein. Why did I choose this as a snack? Let's break down the food choices first, all right? Number 1, this is for a morning workout. In this scenario, I'd be working out first thing in the morning. This is the snack after the breakfast, after the workout. So it's still in an active time frame, which means in active time frames, we're definitely trying to still take in carbohydrates because we're burning a lot of carbohydrates. All right, so that's where I got the banana from, and then I put some protein with it. When we get to the later snack choice, it'll be farther away from the active period. It'll be during an inactive time. It'll make a lot of sense at what that food choice is in comparison to this one. All right, so went with those food choices there at this low point. Because I did that, it's going to give me another little burst of blood sugar to keep me from going low. All right, rather than skipping that snack. If I skipped that snack, my blood sugar would have kept going down and I'd have crossed that line. If I cross that line, my body's not going to burn fat the rest of the day. All right, and that's 12 hours wasted. All right, I know nobody in this group right now is going 12 hours without getting paid at work. So why go 12 hours without burning fat during the day? You got to eat that snack. If you're skipping that snack, that's 200 calories. It's not going towards hormone production or stabilizing your blood sugar. It's going to put you in a bad mood and you're not going to hit your goals. So get that snack in. All right. 10 a.m. you ate the snack. It gets in your bloodstream. By about 11:30 noon, your body uses those 220 calories. That's how it works. At lunch at noon, let's say we had a salad. Pretty common lunch option. Chat. Emily, you're always hungry. Yes, so always eat the snacks. That's the whole point is you should be hungry quickly. You eat 2 or 3 hours later, you should be hungry. And then when you're hungry, eat. Don't not eat. All right? All right, coming back. Lunch right here, this low point. It's noon now, 2 hours passed from that snack. We're going to have a salad loaded up with whatever veggies you want. Tomato, cucumber, a little onion in there. 1 whole egg, all right, hard-boiled egg diced up, 3 ounces of chicken, 2 tablespoons low-fat French dressing. All right, it's common, it's what I like. And then 15 grapes on the side or on the salad, however you like it, whatever. That's a decent meal right there. You're not gonna be hungry after eating that. That's a packed salad. It's 315 calories, 13 fats. That's around our 10 grams that we need. 25 carbohydrates, 24 carbs. That's a balanced meal there, right? You got everything you need. It's not too high carb because we're getting away from our active period now. This was 40 right after the workout. We brought it down to 25 for lunch. We kept the protein smooth every meal so far. We got 20 protein, 29, 25, 24. You heard me say 20 a lot. All right, because I eat this meal right here, it's balanced at this time. Then I get a spike of blood sugar a little bit. And over the course of a few hours, that blood sugar will come down. This is just how it works. All right. So then whenever it comes down at 3 p.m. right here, you would eat a snack. For this one, the food choice, I chose 25 almonds. This is what I was talking about earlier in reference with that banana. You eat that banana because that's closer to the active time. It is more carbs, 30 carbs in that snack. The almonds only bring 6 carbs into it, more fat. Those calories do better away from the active time. All right, 13 fat, 6 carbs, 6 protein, 150 calories. Because you eat those almonds, boom, you get just a little burst of blood sugar stabilizing you. It's all about not letting it get down to this line. All right, the last meal, dinner at 5:30 p.m., half a cup of couscous, half a cup of broccoli, 4 ounces of teriyaki shrimp, 250 calories, 6 grams of fat, 21 carbs, 28 grams of protein. And because you do that, you would get a little burst. And then a few hours go by, you go to bed. Your blood sugar is winding down a little bit, but you go to bed at 9 p.m. It will stabilize through the night. And you wake up right there around that 75 again, 80 milligrams per deciliter. And you continue again. All right, so this is directly cause and effect of what a perfect day adds up to. All right, this is what it does to your blood sugar, and you see how it's stable all day. So as long as you're between the 72 and 110 milligrams per deciliter, your body is burning fat. All right, even if it's at a slow rate, it's still happening. If you go above this line right here, that's when your body starts storing it. If you go below it, that's when you stop burning fat. So you can't skip meals, you cannot skip snacks and expect to keep burning fat, and you can't eat too much at one time and expect not to gain it. All right, that's up to you individually. Now, one more slide here. This is a breakdown. I want you to see all the meals. Look, I got before the workout, there's that Pure Pro bar. Here's the eggs, turkey bacon, and the bread. There's the banana protein shake, the salad, the almonds, and then the teriyaki shrimp meal. All those calories adds up to 1,485 calories. That's about a 1,500 calorie day. All right. As far as macronutrients go, you got 51 grams of fat for the day, 139 grams of carbs, and 132 grams of protein. This is a perfect meal plan, y'all. You could literally, if you are supposed to be eating 1,500 calories a day, you go back right here. Look, there's your meal plan at the top of this page right here. Feel free to use that, and then you can use that food equivalence page. See if I got that pulled up. Use this page right here. If you don't want teriyaki shrimp, you're like, I don't really like shrimp, Greg. Okay, come over here. And instead of shrimp, you could eat tilapia. You could eat 99.1 lean ground turkey, some chicken, all right, tuna, whatever you want. As long as it's the lean protein in the same category as that shrimp. All right, a couple little samples right here of what 1,500 calories looks like in a 5-meal spread on a Mediterranean diet, and without even cooking it, it can be done. Does anybody have more questions? Let's see. Question, can you eat breakfast for dinner like eggs? Yes. Here's the deal. Emily, that's a great question. The food choice doesn't matter. This dinner, half cup of couscous. All right, if I wanted, let's say I didn't want this meal. Let me go back over here on my Microsoft. All right, so half cup couscous, half cup broccoli. I'm literally gonna show you how I made this meal. 4 ounces teriyaki shrimp. All right, that meal came down to 250, 621, 28. Hang with me, y'all. 250, 621, 28. All right, so instead of that meal, what I see here is I see a carbohydrate, a fibrous carb, a vegetable, and a lean protein. So I know I need to go over to my sheet here, and I'm gonna look for food equivalents. 1 second here, we're gonna make this work. All right, so my half cup couscous. Couscous is, hold on, I'll look it up right here. It's a little pellet type thing, but you boil it and it turns into this. It's similar to like, I'd say it's in like the quinoa and the rice category. Definitely has a little bit different of flavor. I like this way better than quinoa, and it has less carbs than both of them. So you can use this if you're on a lower carb diet, but you're very hungry. You can eat more of this while maintaining your carbs so that you're not as hungry. All right, whenever you buy it, it's normally in a package like that. Or sometimes I see them in, like this pack or little square plastic containers. I don't see any on here. There it is. Sometimes you see them like this. All right, so if you're wanting to, hold on, Rosemary. I'm gonna come back to your question. Let me finish answering Emily's first, and I'll be right back to that one. All right, back to here. All right, if I didn't want couscous, I come over here and I go to the couscous. It said 3/4 cup of couscous. I have a half cup. So I've got to find best if I wanted breakfast options. Look, I go to my Cheerios. All right, 3/4 cup Cheerios is the same as 3/4 cup couscous. So that means half a cup of Cheerios is the same as half a cup of couscous. So half cup. This is literally how you use this resource. All right. Now, broccoli. What am I going to have in place of my broccoli? So for vegetables, this is 5 carbs is, where's broccoli at? 1 cup of broccoli. So I have half a cup of broccoli. I have that in there for, that's 2.5 carbs. I'm going to be honest, 2.5 carbs. 2.5 carbs is negligible. You don't even have to add anything else. Maybe you can get 3 more Cheerios. All right. What you're really missing here is a few grams of fiber. All right. So if you have a fiber supplement, or you had another food that you could put in, like a high fiber bread, or like instead of Cheerios, you could choose another carb source. Oatmeal has good fiber, stuff like that, but you don't even have to replace that one. Now, your teriyaki shrimp, I see the chat beeping. I'll be aware right in a second. Let me finish this up. Teriyaki shrimp, we got to replace with a lean protein. So you could go with egg whites or a protein shake. You could literally do Cheerios and 4 egg whites or a protein shake. All right. So if you want to eat those breakfast foods in place of that meal, that's literally just how you do it. Doesn't matter about the food. These numbers add up the same. Doesn't even matter about that food. This is half cup of Cheerios, 4 egg whites. It's still about 250 calories. It's still about 6 grams of fat, 21 carbs, and 28 grams of protein. All right, so we open this chat up again. Emily, I hope that answered your question. Type me out something if it did not. My computer's being difficult, y'all. Tortilla, yeah, you could put, you can make like a little breakfast burrito with that for sure. If you want to do the tortilla instead of the Cheerios, just do the math on it. That's your job. I'm good at math, but ain't nobody paying me for that. Awesome. Yeah, those little breakfast tacos are nice. All right, if you work out later in the morning, would you wake up, eat breakfast, and move that snack to after dinner in the evening? Okay, let me go back to the PowerPoint here. I want to make sure that we are on the same page before I move forward. So you're going to work out somewhere between 12, actually, Rosemary, you're probably working out like 10 a.m., somewhere around here between 8. So you would eat your breakfast, and then what I would do is your post-workout meal, you would need these numbers still. All right, so your breakfast would be more balanced meal like lunch, like these numbers. Right after the workout, higher carb, a little bit lower fat, post-workout meal. And then go snack, that's where you would have this before lunch. And then lunch, also back to a balanced meal. And you can still go snack and dinner the same the rest of the evening. Or yeah, if you want to do lunch, dinner, and then this snack before bed. There's no right or wrong answer there at that point, but you had the right idea with instead of eating that Pure Pro bar, eating a full meal when you wake up. Here's the kicker though. Let's say you're working out at 10 a.m. and you wake up at 6 a.m. You eat your breakfast at 6:30, that full meal. You cannot go from 6:30 to 10 and not eat again before your workout. That's where you would want to eat at like 9 or 9:30, eat that Pure Pro bar, and then work out. You always have to have something like 30 to 60 minutes before your workout. All right. If you ate a full meal, like an hour and a half before the workout, that's where, you know, there's one scenario where you might be able to get away with that. All right, anybody else have questions? Got through this kind of quick here. Anybody got questions about adding up? Does anybody do this? Does anybody break down and look at how many calories and how many fats, carbs, and proteins is in the meals and the snacks that they're eating? Because you should be. The food equivalence list, Rosemary, I can email that to you. No problem. I'll make sure I get that over to you right when we get off of here. You're welcome. All right, guys. That is the conclusion of the lesson plan today. And what I'm trying to get out of this most is that what you eat is going to have an effect on your body. Okay, I'm going to go through here. Since we got more time, I'm going to elaborate a little bit farther. My allergies. So now let's say, if for lunch, all right, lunch number 9 here. If instead of this, I ate a burger a double cheeseburger and some fries. That would turn out to be, so let me undo this. Cheeseburger and fries. Let's say it's like 700 calories and 35 fat, probably like 75 carbs and 40 grams of protein. That sounds about right. I'll be honest, it might be more carbs, but either way, that definitely should look alarming in comparison to these other numbers. All right. If you do that right here, instead of getting this normal lunch bar like we have right here, instead, you get that burger, and then this happens. All right. And that curve there, what that curve does is as soon as you get above this line, that means now your liver is overflowed and you have forced stored body fat. All right, then because that happens, your body, it reacts. All right, it's going to flood your bloodstream with insulin, and then your blood sugar is going to tank. It's going to get thinned out very quickly. All right, and then your blood sugar is going to get low. It's going to cross this line here. You're going to get tired, fatigued. Your body's not going to feel great. You probably get a little bit of irritable, hangriness, munchies, cravings. Definitely the weight gain. You are not going to be able to burn fat for 12 to 24 more hours. So we'll try again tomorrow, basically. And then you're left more hungry. So now instead of this snack at 3 being almonds, now maybe you're like, you know what? I need a bag of chips. All right, and then you come back over here and that problem repeats. And then you eat a bag of chips and it goes way up and then comes way down. And you end up doing this a few times a day. That's a recipe for a sumo wrestler. Not really a sumo wrestler, but definitely not somebody who's fit and in shape, taking care of their body and healthy. All right, we want these little bitty waves that comes from healthy choices and a balance of macronutrients like this meal here. Not cheap and convenient and high calorie, high fat, high carb foods. I know that's obvious. I'm preaching to the choir at this point because I got some good people in this group right now, but this is how it works right here. Anybody got questions? Go ahead and undo all my stuff here. All right, guys. I don't see anybody putting anything in the chat. We'll give it another 10 seconds here just in case somebody's typing, but we might be done for the day here. Okay, you guys. I am, like I said, this is recording. I'm going to be uploading this on YouTube. If you have any other questions or you want to review that, I'll send that link out in a couple of days. Feel free to text me, email me, catch me at camp. We'll make sure we get you educated about this stuff so that you can start practicing it and getting the benefits from it. Y'all remember, a few of y'all heard me say this. You want to get fit, you want to get healthy, you have to get good at the fit and healthy lifestyle. To be good at it, you have to learn the right things and then practice those things. All right, so you're definitely in the right spot here. Now put this stuff to work. Let's make sure you got the full understanding and you practice it. Have a great evening, you guys. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch y'all later.